Hey guys, so the day one of this build was not very smooth. And if you're following this, I'm kind of sorry, but I think Ballista Totems was severely kind of undertuned at the moment. Not because of the ascendancies or like of anything like that. I think it's the number that GG kind of messed up somewhere. Somehow the early game just felt terrible, right? I played this build 3 times last week, take it all the way to X6 without much issues. Of course, the number was changed, but from my understanding, it should only nerf the number a little bit. As long as you have a good weapons, you should be able to pull through. So Act 1 and 2 is completely fine because we are using the HVR setups that I posted previously and it works wonderful. Now, starting from Act 3 on, when you start to use Ballista Totems, you can kind of feel like the number is a little bit wrong. And what's wrong here is that I don't feel myself getting much stronger throughout the Act 3, 4, 5, and 6. The numbers stay relatively the same. I feel like I'm doing the number that I'm doing in Act 3 when I was in Act 6. And maybe that's just the number tunings is a bit wrong with the weapons that we are using, because I definitely have good weapons, not like bad weapons by any mean. But the number is just not satisfying. Now, the only life-saving part of the setups is the mortar cannons. I think it's great. I just didn't want to use it because it has grenades and I don't like to use grenades. But I'm going to provide updates to the trees and setups in Mobalytics for you guys to get through the campaign, at least using the right setups with mortar cannons. It's probably going to be a lot easier than using the previously Glacial Bolt and Siege Ballista. You might ask if the cannon ready was the problem, and cannons ready was never the problem. Now, I did suggest you to take this, and I have unspec'd this, but for a different reason, because I'm running a banner setups right now. I think the problem is definitely with the Siege Ballista numbers. Throughout the whole campaign, I did have cannons ready, and I had no issues using this with Glacial Bolt and Siege Ballista. As a matter of fact, they work pretty well together. And in the futures, when I get my 3rd point, I'm probably going to take back cannons ready. I think this node is just not great. It's not a great node, right? I'm taking this purely for the +1 to maximum totems. And skills used by totem have more skill speed. Doesn't really matter because it's just there. The downside of totem only use skills when you fire an attack is kind of bad. But the point of this patch is that the totems is gonna use your weapons. And if you have a good weapons, you can also attack with your weapons. So you and your totems is supposed to do great damage together, but turns out it's actually not. It's just tickle the enemy. For the campaign experience, I'll rate mine 7 out of 10. Probably one of the worst experience I had. But if I were to have bad weapons, probably 4 or 5 out of 10. For the content that you have to do, right? So this is with the cannons ready. We put out totems out, and then you put up the frost wall, and every time you shoot, the totems will shoot after you, and then it will break the wall, overlapping on the boss. This is where the combo is supposed to do a lot more damage, and maybe this is why I think GG's severely undertuned this combo, because, you know, if beside this combo, there's only like explosive grenade setups to go for. And again, grenade is also good, so I'm gonna share the setups for grenades in Mobalytics. Probably gonna help you get through the campaigns a lot better. So yeah, in my opinions, Banner felt undertuned right now. Ballista is definitely very undertuned right now. And I'm going to give it another try tomorrow to see how far I can push this Ballista setups. My current setup is actually no longer using Glacial Bolt. I'm using mortar cannon, so it's still a ballista skill. Now, this is probably the only good skills in the Tacticians or the mercenary packs right now. Mortar cannons is actually pretty insane. It does a lot of damage by itself, and it throws out a lot of grenades. Now, the skill itself do damage, but also I combine that with the Stormblast Bolt. This one will require detonator skills to detonate the arrows, and we can use mortar cannons to do just that. So yeah, my current characters is no longer Glacial Bolt and Siege Ballista. I have tested out actually many variants. This is because the original ideas of Siege Ballista is not really working, so we have to have backup options. Now, this will require further testing, and whether or not I stick to the class, I probably will. I'm not gonna just re-level another class or play another ascendancy right now on day 2. I'll try to see how far we can push this, and I'm pretty sure like we can push this to a red map at least and farm endgame content. But whether or not I want to do that, then I'll let you guys know in a few more updates. Yeah, but anyway, let's talk about a few things in the setups right now. First of all, we have all the banners. I kind of want to test it out, and we have a banner tech to essentially heal you to full every time. So there's a note right here called Invigorating Grandeur. So you recover 1% of your maximum life per glory consumed. And because of the new banner, I'm not sure why they do this, but because of the new banner using 200 glory, essentially you heal to 200% of your maximum life every time you put out a banner. And because we are using the setups right here with the whoever paid best, we have 3 banners, and we can constantly place them down in maps like once every, I'll say 5 seconds or so. So it's a full heal once every 5 seconds, and it feels pretty good. As soon as we get more tanky, right now I don't even have cap resistant. As soon as we get more tanky, it's gonna be very smooth, and we're gonna get cap resistance. This can be pretty useful, allowing us to actually stay inside the banner and face tank, hopefully. Now, the banner actually have great AoE, as you can kind of see here. So it's not that hard to stay inside this banner, or maybe just running around and be able to tank a lot of stuff. And also, if you are attacking the enemies, you also gain a lot of glory, and you will be able to put a banner down once every 5 seconds. Now, the Storm Blast Bolt and the cannon, the way it works is that cannon will fire that detonator, and Storm Blast Bolt, we shoot a bunch of them, and it has really good multiplier. It should be pretty good enough for the endgame as well. So the explosion do 328%, and every time you shoot 3 bolts, and we have multi-shots, so that's another 2 projectile for 5 projectile in total. And that is a lot of Storm Blast Bolt, and also a lot of explosions. Now, these arrows also have a huge spread, but if you are able to get a lot of AoE, you can certainly overlap on enemies. So it is kind of viable for single target damage, at least for mapping. I do have Shopless Round as a backup options. As soon as we get shocks, we can swap into Shopless Round, and it's probably one of the best single target damage skill in 0.3 still right now. And if not, there are another potential setup that I might try as well. So while the Tactician's initial setups did not turn out to be good, as long as you can get through the campaigns, you can probably start mapping with the setups right here. And we can probably look for better setups later on down the road when we discover new techs and stuff like that. Now, I think in the end games, there's also notes for you to go crit for Ballista. I'm not sure how worth is that right now. But if we were to go crit for Ballista, then Mortal Cannon would be beneficial from that, and we'll get crits on our explosive grenades. But yeah, it's probably okay. You know, banners are just not great right now, but it should be fine. The good thing is that we have banner uptime at 100%, and it will be easily kept like that in the late game. And another tech we are using is that we are using one crossbolt, but we have used the same crossbow for both hands. And this patch allows you to do that with, for example, you are using a crossbow on your first weapon set, and you go to your second weapon set, and you can kind of like do a right click right here to clear. Then you can use a different weapon, but if you do a right click right here, then your same weapons is going to be used on both hands. And that means that you will have 2 crossbow shots. So weapon set 2 right here, I load my Storm Blast Bolt, and I assign it to my second weapon set, and I have pretty much I do this so I can put down banner, because I'm using banners on my second weapon set. All the other totems and area notes are for the totems itself, which I put on the weapon set 1 and just uncheck on weapon set 2. So that's pretty good. My gear is also nothing too special. This is level 62 though, so I use this one to complete the campaign. I have spirit on my body armor, spirit on my amulet, so craft this. My gear just, yeah, I don't even have cap resistant right now, so that's what I'm working on next. This is the triple flat damage glove that I got. 30% move speed boots with life. So yeah, a lot to work on for these characters. I guess it's a bit of a bummer that the original setup didn't work out like I planned to. As far as I'm concerned, the aura is not really final yet. We are probably going to swap around a lot. I don't even have all these skill gems and spirit gems ready right now. So yeah, my companions I picked up around actually. Essentially, he only have the extra physical damage aura, and that is pretty much it. For my particular setups, I'm going to post it live on Mobalytics anytime I make any changes. So all you need to do is just to look at the page. I'm probably gonna do a day 2, 3 updates. Hopefully we'll figure something out more solid by tomorrow. And we'll get to farm some maps and have some fun. With that being said, good luck with your campaigns. And maybe go with a friend so you don't feel as bad. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.